What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? Let's suppose, I do this often in vocational guidance of students. They come to me and say, well, we're getting out of college and we haven't the faintest idea what we want to do. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I say, do you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And after all, if you do really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, you can eventually you could eventually become a master of it. It's the only way to become a master of something, to be really with it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. So don't worry too much. Somebody's interested in everything. And anything you can be interested in, you'll find others will. But it's absolutely stupid to spend your time doing things you don't like in order to go on spending things you don't like and doing things you don't like, and to teach your children to follow in the same track. See, what we're doing is we're bringing up children and educating them to live the same sort of lives we're living, in order that they may justify themselves and find satisfaction in life by bringing up their children, to bring up their children to do the same thing, so it's all wretch and no vomit. It never gets there. And so, therefore, it's so important to consider this question, what do I desire?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that needs to be spoken about, especially during these times in the crypto markets where we're seeing big dips. And today's video is going to be about why I think hodling is not only holding you back, but it's also stopping you from gaining much more profits, okay? In my opinion, and I'm going to share with you guys why on the charts as well, real examples of why I think hodling is just really, really stupid, okay? I remember during so many pump and dumps in cryptos where we saw these massive big pushes from Elon Musk tweeting, whatever it may be, you would have all of these YouTubers on these live streams telling people, look, hodl, buy more, hodl, hodl, hodl. And it is really painful for me to watch, and I want to share with you guys why hodling and doing this is just so stupid, okay? I just don't want to tell you why hodling is stupid. I want to actually show you guys how, if you stop hodling and you learn to dollar cost average and learn just a very, very simple technical analysis, how you can go from making 100%, 50, 100% return to making potentially 500% return, okay? With hodling, let's just say, for this example, I'm going to give you guys the example of saying we have $5,000. If you have $5,000 and you're looking to invest it in crypto and you can see that a crypto can potentially go up, let's say 50%, okay? But in the meantime, if it can also drop the way that crypto's been dropping recently, you don't want to just hold through drawdown, okay? You want a dollar cost average. You want to, as simple as it is, buy low, sell high, but keep doing that, okay? When we have deep pullbacks, you don't just hold onto these losing positions. You secure your profits and then you can buy back in at completely no extra cost to you, so you can massively grow your holdings. But I want to show you guys this on the charts and through a really good example on the minute, which is LTCUSD, Litecoin, which has some really, really interesting opportunities for you guys. And I hope this video helps you out a lot, and hopefully you can share it with other people who just hodl in crypto, because I think the people who do just hodl in crypto are pretty much the ones that don't really know what they're doing, and that is with no disrespect to anyone. But if you see people who just hodl they haven't taken advantage of these big pushes, the pullbacks, they haven't been able to massively grow their capital through dollar cost averaging, then hopefully you can share this video with them and hopefully it will help you guys out a lot. So let's jump straight on the charts. In order for me to explain to you guys how to dollar cost average in the example of LTCUSD, I just want to explain to you guys quickly my outlook on the coin and where I think it's going to go, and then we can kind of dive into the dollar cost averaging. So very, very simple. At the minute, LTC has just been, when you look at it, in just one big massive range, okay? And we've just seen big retracements on LTC, and I do think that this momentum is going to continue a little bit more to the downside. So in very, very simple technical terms, you guys can see we have a nice level of resistance, little fake out, broke back below, sort of creating a left shoulder head, come back up for that right shoulder before then dipping lower. So we are currently at a very, very nice level where I do still think we could see this push down this little bit more, okay? Now, what I think for LTC is to push back down into this region, to then push back up, like I say, into this nice liquidity zone, come back up for that right shoulder, create that head and shoulders formation. A very, very simple but effective trading pattern where from here, I do think we could see Litecoin push back down to these levels down here, potentially retest these highs before then potentially coming back up to the highs of this big overall range, around 400 to 420, okay? So that's my current outlook for LTC USD. Very, very simple technicals. And now let me share with you guys how dollar cost averaging in this example can not only save you from going into a massive drawdown, but also help you increase your holdings by doing absolutely nothing more other than securing profits and buying the dips in correct places, okay? I don't really like the word where people say buy the dip, because most of the time it's just when people are in massive drawdown and just adding massively into a losing position. When I say buy the dip, I mean buy the dip with correct technical analysis. For this example, guys, we're just gonna use an example of, let's just say I have $5,000, okay, to invest, and I'm looking to buy into LTC USD, okay? If you have 5,000, and just based off what I have shown you guys, what a lot of people will do is they'll buy around here, okay? What they'll do is they'll see price push up into these regions, and they'll then, after seeing such a strong push, they'll then think it's just going to continue this push up. But around this region, if you buy here, this is a nice place for you to secure your profits before it then dipping lower, to be able to buy back in and be able to buy more with not having to put in any extra money before then having that big push, okay? So let's just say we invest 5,000 when I think price is going to come down to here. So I'm looking to push into around $110 to $100. Let's just stay on the more conservative side and say we're going to push into 110 to then push up into this region, okay? Now, this is 100% range, okay? So you buy here, price pushes up into here, okay? You're now running at times 100%. You now have $10,000, okay? So you've increased your holdings by double, okay? Now, when price gets into here, do you want to see your initial investment go from 100% to all the way back to where you were, to then potentially going into drawdown because you follow the hodl? Just because you buy here and you found this on the web. Just because you buy here and you think it's going to go all the way up here, that doesn't mean that you're not going to want to secure 100% ROI here, because around this region, in technical terms, looking at it now, this is a lovely place for you to go short back down into this region, okay? And remember, guys, in cryptos, people see money. I say people who don't really know what they're doing. They see money in cryptos. When they see, if they buy here, they see price push up, they're like, oh my God, I've made $5,000. Until you have realized that gain and you have locked in them profits, I'm here to tell you that they're just pointless figures. You shouldn't be thinking, oh my God, I've made $5,000, until you've actually realized that money. You haven't made anything, because these massive dips happen. And the people who are buying here and they saw this big push, let's just say you bought here and they saw 80% push. They didn't secure any profits, but they're telling all their friends, oh my God, look, I've made this much on LTC USD. Well, actually you haven't, because you probably hodled and now you're going back into drawdown, and from being up 80%, you're now back down to minus 50%. Okay. So don't think about profit in cryptos until it's actually realized. So let's just say price has pushed up from this region. When price gets into here, we realize our gains. Okay, so now we've grown our portfolio from 5,000 to 10,000. Okay, we've secured the profits, we've completely locked it in. Price from here now does what we expect, and price pushes back down to this level down here, which is a really nice buying opportunity, around 60, 65, for then that big longer term push. Okay, now that you've grown, there's so many different ways to explain this, but I'm trying to keep it as simple for you guys to understand, because it is very, very simple. So you've just now made $5,000. You've just increased your holdings double. When price gets back down into these regions, you can keep the 5,000 you initially put into crypto, into LTC, and you can take that out. Okay, now you have $5,000 to play with, completely risk-free. Do you see what I'm saying? You've essentially just made your initial investment back, and you can now reinvest that without having to put in any money. People that hodl, they'll see big profits, they'll see drawdown, and in drawdown, they just keep putting in money. Your goal as a trader, if you want to trade cryptos, is to be able to increase your holdings without having to constantly top up an account. Okay, so for me personally, and for what you guys, if you wanted to do, maybe you just want to protect your capital a little bit more, take out the initial investment. If we push back up into these 400, then you're probably looking at a nice around 450, 500% return on a 5,000 that you got from dollar cost averaging, as opposed to buying here, holding through here, holding through drawdown before then having that push back up. Okay, so let's just say price has pushed back down into this region, and we want to trade our initial investment, and we also want to put back in the 5,000 that we've gained. Okay, so we're going to buy back in for 10,000 around this region. So let's just say price comes down into this region and we do push back up into these highs. Okay, let's just say, just to keep it nice and round, let's just say we have a 500% return, 5,000 return. If we 5,500% return if we push back up to the highs. And I'm not saying moon, we could easily come up from here and create a new high, but I'm just going to be conservative and just go off price action that I can see, and playing it back up into this previous high is a pretty nice target. And you've also got that nice round level of 400 and 420 there as well. So now we have that 10K, and we take that and we reinvest it back down at, let's just say 65, whatever it may be. 70 to 60, potentially even a little bit lower, is a really, really nice place for you guys to look to invest into LTCUSD. And this what I'm showing you guys is exactly what I will be doing. Okay, so 10,000, let's just say we invest that back in and we look for that 500% return. Okay, so 10,000 times 500, that is $50,000. Okay, you've just taken your initial $5,000, you've times it by 100. You've made 100% just in this small move. You've realized your gains. You've grown your holdings without having to put in any more money, and you've waited for price to dip down. You followed the technical analysis. You followed price. You're not glued to hodling. You can see that we're starting to start a clear bear cycle. You're not just thinking moon all the time. You wait for price to push back down, all the way back down into these lows, and then from down here, you reinvest the money that you started with, also the free money that you made, and you long this all the way back up, and you make a nice 500% return. You've taken 5,000, you've turned it into 10,000, you've reinvested, and you've now turned that 10,000 into 50,000. And these figures aren't unrealistic whatsoever. Of course, sure, you could secure profits once we get back into these regions. Say if you go long here, price breaks above retest, you can buy in again, you can buy in more. There's lots of other ways to dollar cost average within the potential push back up here as well. It's not just going to be a complete one candle shoot all the way up. There'll be opportunities for you to just say we're down here, price pushes up, we come into this level here, you maybe secure some profits, we dip, you buy back in again, and you just keep following the trend and dollar cost averaging. You could probably increase this to even more than 50,000, but this is just to keep it, the numbers and technicals very, very simple. Okay, now let me show you guys the other side and what most people do and what most hodlers do in this market. Okay, so let's just say someone else buys around the same region as us. Let's just say they buy here, they're looking for this to play up. Okay, they're looking at a 250% return. Don't get me wrong, this is still absolutely fantastic. Okay, however, if they don't understand technicals and they see price push up 100%, they get the original 100% ROI that I showed you guys that we will be looking to take as well. They get that 100% ROI. However, they do not secure anything. They just hodl. Okay, price gets into this region, it starts to dip like we expect. They see that 100% go down, down, down slowly, 100%. Okay, now I'm back down to 50. Well, if I've just lost another 50%, well, there's no point cashing out now. I may as well just keep holding. Price dips, 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 does exactly what we expected. They go from being up 100% to now minus 40% before it then potentially goes back up. So if you buy here, yes, you will still make 250% return. However, you have to understand the psychology aspect as well as increasing your holdings without having to put in more money. Okay, so if they put in 5,000, they see profit 10,000. This goes down, this goes down, this goes down. They start seeing 7,500. They go back down to their initial 5,000. They dip a little bit low. We push down 50%. They're now minus 2,500. And they're just going to keep hodling, because this is just what retail traders and people who don't really know what to do in crypto is when they see their money go from 100% ROI back to break even, they pretty much just say to themselves, okay, I'm just going to leave it. It can do what it wants. Okay, so let's get the same figures. They start off with the $5,000. They see the 100% return, 10,000. Okay, they see 10,000 profit. However, they don't realize that gain. So they're just imaginary figures. Until you realize that and you lock that in, it's just imaginary. They don't secure anything. They go into 50% drawdown. They're now at 2,500. However, if price follows their plan, they buy in from around here and they still make 250% return. They make 12,500. Okay, is that a good return? Of course it's a good return. During this time, prices massively mess with their psychology. They don't understand technicals. When price breaks and comes back up, retest, they may even look to close at break even. But let's just look at the whole hodl effect. Okay, if I was to say to you guys very, very simply, would you rather have a $12,500 return, or would you rather have a $50,000 return? Of course, you guys are going to say 50,000. Yet people still just hodl and don't understand dollar cost averaging. And these technicals I'm using here, guys, I could make it much more complicated. I could add on fibs, trend lines, whatever it may be. This is just very, very simple levels of support and resistance. And I'm not saying that we're not going to come up and create a new high. We could easily come up and create a new high. Okay, again, something that people hodl and say moon, but like when people gave the projection of Bitcoin going to 100K, what are you basing that off? For me, when I'm looking to buy down in these lows, I'm basing my targets off previous structure. I'm not mooning and saying this is going to $500. Could it go to $500? Possibly. I have no previous price action to say otherwise, or to base targets off other than market structure and previous price. Okay, very, very simple. Do you want to make 100% return, go into drawdown to then make 250%, or do you want to make 100% return, lock that in, buy back in lower, make a 500% return from these lows, and in total you've made 600%, and we've taken the exact same entry points, we've just secured profits, and we've bought back in at lower prices, and we've also increased our holdings without having to put in any more money. For me, trading cryptos and investing in cryptos, it's all about increasing your holdings without having to put in any extra money. You don't want to keep topping up your account. If you're just losing trades and you're going into drawdown, don't keep topping up your money. Just take a step back, reevaluate what you're actually doing. Listen to this video, and I hope these tips have helped you guys and helps you understand dollar cost averaging, as well as just very, very simple technicals. If you guys want to learn more about how I dive deeper into better technicals and more advanced technicals, as well as sharing with you guys my own personal buyings, which I will share within the community. I share everything that I'm buying, where I see cryptos dipping next, because not being big headed here whatsoever. When Bitcoin was around 60, 66, 68, maybe, whatever it went to, $1,000, I said to people, secure your profits, because I see Bitcoin going back down to 40,000. Look at us now. Bitcoin's around 40,000 or 42,000 and dipping even lower. Now, do you think Bitcoin could potentially go to 35,000? But these are things that I always just share only within the community. You guys can check out the link in the bio. No pressure to join. If you want to join, you can join. If you want to make 500, 600% return, then maybe you would want to join. However, it's completely up to you guys. I'm not pushing any sales. I never push the community whatsoever, but it's there in the description if you guys want to check it out anyway. So I hope this video has just maybe not taught you technical analysis, but opened your eyes into the power of dollar cost averaging, and also why hodling is just so stupid. Be smart with your money. Don't be like retail traders. Don't hodl cryptos because it's just fucking stupid. Learn very simple technicals. This is just simple support and resistance, and you guys can look to catch a 600% return. But not only that, you guys throughout this video now also know exactly what I'm going to be doing in LTCUSD, so you can potentially take the exact same trades with me. I hope this video has helped you guys. If it has, like I say, please feel free to share it with your family members who have bought crypto with maybe not a good insight of what to do, and maybe they're experiencing drawdown, whatever. Well, I hope this video helps them, and you can share it with them, friends, family, whatever it may be. And like I say, if you guys would leave a like, hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be posting YouTube videos a lot more this year. So I hope you guys stay tuned and have a fantastic day. And I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Thank you.